أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وعظيمنا وحبيبنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أوصي وأوصيكم بتقوى الله. قال تعالى: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن الله طيب لا يقبل إلا الطيب وإن الله أمر المؤمنين بما أمر به المرسلين. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من الطيبات واعملوا الصالحات. وقال تعالى: يا أيها الرسل كلوا من الطيبات ما رزقناكم. أما بعد. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us barakah in this month of Sha'ban. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the full barakah of the month of Rajab that has just passed. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to witness another Ramadan. We are in the month of Sha'ban, the first Jum'ah in the sacred month of Sha'ban. This was also described as the month of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. In this month of Sha'ban, we must begin the mode of preparation. We must begin to prepare. In reality, Rajab is the month to begin to prepare. But for sometimes some of us are late, and so there's Sha'ban. The main aspect, the main objective, the main purpose of the preparation required in this month is to begin to disengage, to disconnect ourselves from all types of worldly reliances, all types of concerns about anything other than our akhirah. To begin to rearrange and to prioritize what's most important. That is, first, to be people of deen. And as Muslims, to be a person of this deen requires ikhlas. Some ulama say that the entire deen of Islam is about one objective: to get people to reach the state of ikhlas. That is deen. And in order to achieve that state, there are two general processes. The first process is a process of disconnection. The second is the process of connection, or reconnecting. Disconnecting with our concern and worries and desires for the world, and our fears about what may happen to us in the world, or what we might leave behind, or what we might not get. Our focus and our anxieties and our struggles and concerns about dunyawi matters. And because of our ihtimam and our ishtighal, our busying ourselves with the world. You see, the world doesn't busy us. We busy ourselves with it. Because of us busying ourselves with the world, we become distracted, deluded, detached, removed, disengaged from the Khaliq of the world, from the Rabb of the world, from the Creator of the world. So ikhlas is about reorienting ourselves to one objective, one focus, one purpose, one hadaf, one qibla, one Kaaba, one Rabb. It's removing us from the multiplicity and the confusion and the diversities and the options and reducing it to one. This month of Sha'ban, we must begin to think like this. We begin with what the Prophet ﷺ said. This beautiful text. Inna Allah Ta'ala tayyibun. That Allah Ta'ala is tayyib, pure. Meaning that He Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is tanazzuh, is above and beyond any and all types of nuqsan, deficiencies, weaknesses, defects. Allah Ta'ala is above and beyond these things. Any needs, any reliances, weaknesses. Allah Ta'ala is tayyib. La yaqbalu illa tayyib. And He only accepts things that are free from weaknesses and needs and deficiencies and attachments. So if we offer something to Allah Ta'ala, if we offer any act of ibadah, any act of sadaqah, if we offer ourselves, our a'mal, our institutions, we must offer them with no attachments. Nothing attached. It must be pure, dedicated, directed to Allah Ta'ala. So if we want Allah Ta'ala to accept us, we must go to Him, but with no attachments. We must strive to reach Him, but with no secondary motives. And then He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that Allah Ta'ala, in this regard, in terms of accepting what's tayyib, has commanded the Muslims, أمر المؤمنين بما أمر به المرسلين. He's commanded the believers with the same level of command and the same type of command and the same quality of the command as He has instructed the messengers, not the Anbiya, the Mursaleen, the prophets. And that command is twofold. One, كُلُوا مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. If you want to offer something, if you want to give something, you must take something. And therefore, what you want to give and what you want to offer is pure, and you want to offer pure to Allah Ta'ala, who only accepts what's pure, then we must consume and take in what is pure. And therefore, if our a'mal and our deeds are not pure, they are not stripped down to ikhlas, they have different attachments to them, then first of all, it's a problem with the output. So if there's a problem with the output, then that means there's a problem with the input. That also means, كُلُوا مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ, consume what is tayyib. It also not only means eating and drinking, but it means general consumption. Because you can consume information. And the information that you consume can be qabih, can be absolutely ugly and wretched and horrible. And then you've consumed bad information, false information, and you allow that to be a part of your psyche, and you take that bad information to salat with you, and it distracts you from properly offering a tayyib salat to Allah Ta'ala. Because on the way to the masjid, you're listening to music, crazy input, qabih input. Or on the way to the masjid, you're listening to talk radio which has crazy things on it, haram discussions. Discussions about nufus and waswasa and ghiba and kadhib, lying and backbiting, things that are haram. When we allow that to enter into ourselves, we become subjected to that kind of destructive input. And we worry why we cannot focus in our salawat properly. And we worry and we wonder why we don't receive the utmost benefit in our salat. And we wonder why the only thing that we get out of our salat is ta'ab, fatigue, boredom. And we go back from the masjid and we plug into the same thing and we receive the same input. Kulu min at-tayyibat. Whatever you put inside of you must be tayyib if you expect to offer tayyib to Allah Ta'ala, who is tayyib and only accepts what's tayyib. It requires not just a dietary change, but a lifestyle change. We've got to discriminate not only from what we eat and drink, but what we listen to, what we watch, the money we make, how we spend, how we think, how we internalize, what we listen to in terms of gossip and discussions, and what people say, casual conversations in the hallway, in the parking lot. Certain things must be ignored. We have to be very careful as to what we put inside of us. Sha'ban is the month to begin to discriminate in this regard. Because if we don't begin watching those things now, we're going to fail miserably in Ramadan. Because Ramadan is not just about staying away from food and drink. It's also about staying away holistically from putting haram things in our bodies, like listening to something that's haram, looking at something that's haram, speaking something that's haram, entertaining things that are haram. Not just the haram, also the makruh. And at a deeper level, the shubuhat, the doubtful matters. Sha'ban is this month to begin to change our focus, to begin to discriminate, to be very careful about what we put inside of us. Not just inside of our bodies, inside of our minds, but also what we allow inside of our homes, inside of our children's minds, inside of our environment. We begin to re-look at and re-examine these things. Now, when we properly examine these things, and we start to allow certain things to come in and to say, no, we're not going to allow certain things to enter, then we'll notice a qualitative, not quantity, quality, a qualitative change in our ibadah. Kulu min at-tayyibat, and then what comes? Wa'malu salihan. And then you'll act, you will perform. Amal, that is righteous. Consume well first, perform well second. That's the condition. I didn't write the ayah. Rabbuna Jalla Jalala composed it. That's the same thing, the advice that was given to the Mursaleen, that's also applicable to the Mu'mineen. In that regard, and only in that regard, listen very carefully, in that regard, and only in that regard, are believers held to the same standards as the prophets and messengers. Consume right, and you'll perform right. In that respect, we can accept the same results. We can expect the same successes. This idea of, the Anbiya is up here and I'm down here. Yes, that's true. But the Anbiya consume tayyib. You can consume tayyib. I can consume tayyib. They did good works. I can do good works too. But it starts with a full holistic approach to properly consuming and internalizing the right information and content, nourishment. This is the first thing. The second thing is about our relationship with this world out here, with this dunya. Our relationship with this world is paradoxical. We have to have a relationship with it. But we don't have to have a relationship for it. We live in it and of it, but not for it. We don't rely on it. We rely on the creator of it. We have a connection with it, but our connection with the world is based entirely upon our connection with Allah Ta'ala. So we connect vertically first, and then horizontally second. We rely on Allah Ta'ala to manage our relationship with the world, to guide us to certain things. We adhere to those rules. We have to look at, in this month of Sha'ban, the devices we have, the things in our homes, in our pockets, in our vehicles, everything that has to do with our connections and relationship to the world. And we need to scrutinize and analyze those devices, those means, those asbab that affect our relationship with the world. Are those devices and those means, do they cause problems for us when it comes to our wanting and our needing to connect with Allah? Is our connection to our devices and to the things in this world greater than our connection to Allah Ta'ala? When the salat time comes and the phone rings, which one do we internally, not externally, internally respond to first? Which one? When the salat is established and we're in the salah and the phone rings, which one drives us to be more focused and dedicated? After the salah, do we check our phones or do we check our adhkar? Are we concerned about work or are we concerned about amal? You see, this is the beautiful point about the story of Musa alayhi salam in the Quran, in Surah Taha. Beautiful, one of the most profound sets of ayat. I encourage us all to read it. Let it serve as an example for our relationship with the things that we have in the world. Allah Ta'ala, He introduces Himself to Musa alayhi salam. Now Musa knows he's speaking to Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala knows his abd. And He asks him, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا Musa? Musa, what's this thing in your right hand? قَالَ هِيَ عَصَايَ. You see, this is my staff. You see. Now Musa knows, Allah Ta'ala knows what it is. Allah Ta'ala knows what it is. But the question is not a question for istifhamiyya. It's not to be answered. It's a question for reflection. What is this thing in your pocket? What is that thing in your wallet? What's that thing you hold so dearly, so tightly, that symbolizes your connection to the world? It's my staff. It's the thing it's my cell phone. It's my keys. It's my degree. It's the DNR in front of my name. It's the title. It's my alma mater. It's my father's background. It's the color of my skin. It's the type of passport I have. It's the amount of investments in my account. I lean on it. I lean on it. It's all I rely on it. Without it, I fall. That's the purpose of relying on it. You see, if it's moved, you fall. You lose your account, you're done. If your license is taken away, forget it. If you're not white, you can't succeed. If you're not American, you're not good enough. particular country, khalas, doesn't matter. If you don't make enough money, you can't survive. I lean on it. That's what he said. Now I have other uses for it. I use it here and I use it there, and I use it to keep bad things away. I pay my taxes. I build masajid. I do this. And I have other uses for this. It has multiple uses. This thing here of the dunya that I rely on. My business card. Multiple uses. Alqiha, throw it away. See, the tariq of the mursaleen is deep. The way of the anbiya is profound. If you want to follow Allah Ta'ala, you want to reach Allah Ta'ala, throw it away. Cast it down. Test yourself. See what you're made of. If you're a believer, throw it aside. We got Muslims can't even turn their cell phones off when they enter the musalla. Can't shut it on silent. Brothers praying salat, cell phone ring, you got to check it. I've seen that. Salat, brother takes it out and checks it. In salah, who you connected to. So test yourself. This is what Sha'ban is about. Let alone Ramadan. Let alone the last 10 days of i'tikaf, where all connections are supposed to be severed. All of them. Start to re-examine your ittisalat, your relationships with people, with places, with things, with ideas, with cultures, with concepts, with your friends, colleagues. Re-examine those things. Can you cast them away? What happens if you tell yourself, for one day I'm going to go without my cell phone? One day I'm not going to give my business card to anybody. Can you do it? Or do you have to do it? Cast it down for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. Shut your phones off when you come in here. See? Cast it down. And it became a snake. When he cast it aside, only then did Allah Ta'ala show Musa the potential danger of that thing. You see, when it's so close to you and you rely on it, you're addicted to it, you're pulled into it, you become blinded to the dangers of connecting so much to that device or devices or backgrounds or CVs or whatever it is, that you think that you're also tuned into Allah Ta'ala. But it's a destructive connection. It inhibits vision. It became a snake. And Musa saw the potential danger in it. All of a sudden that thing that was strong was flimsy. Couldn't pick it up. Couldn't rely on it. Didn't have a backbone. Had no uses for it whatsoever. The thing that he knew was so close and intimate to him became the very means, the very sabab of potential destruction. And that's why some of the ulama, they say, من علامات اعتماد على العمل نقصان الرجاء عند وجود الزلل. That one of the signs that when you make simple mistakes in your days, that normally when you make a mistake, you should make tawbah for that mistake and correct yourself and move on about your business. But then you make a mistake and you feel your world is gone. You feel there's no hope for you. The cause of that is because you relied on that stick that became a snake. It's false reliance on something. When you rely falsely on something and you make a mistake in the world and you think Allah Ta'ala will not be there for you, the reason you lose hope in Allah Ta'ala to work for you, and you don't see the blessings He's given you, and you don't see yourself as being worthy enough to connect to Him, is because you put too much effort in connecting to something else away from Him. That's why. And when you connect with Him, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, nothing you do, no mistake you make, unintentionally, it would prevent you from running to Him. Nothing will prevent you from running to Allah Ta'ala in the mistakes, let alone in your hasanat. See, everything in the world, some of the ulama, they say, everything in the world that you're afraid of, like in Musa, the story of Musa alayhi salam, when you're afraid of it, you run from it. Except Allah Ta'ala. You run to Him. You run to Him. So Sha'ban is this month. But see, you can only, when you've got too much baggage, you can't run fast. When you have too much holding you down, you can barely run, let alone run fast. So your journey to Allah Ta'ala not only is slow, but arduous and tough. كم من صائم ليس من صيامه إلا الجوع وفي رواية إلا التعب وفي رواية إلا العطش. How many صائم person? How many person who fast? ليس من صيامه. He gets nothing from his or her effort. They're doing amal, praying, coming to the masjid, they're doing those things, but they get no benefits, no spiritual, internal, ma'nawi, ruhi, qalbi benefit, except that they get tired, hungry, thirsty. No difference. Making salahs, no difference in going to the gym. Allah protect us from this hal. It's not a wretched state. Sha'ban is about us turning inwardly and looking at everything in our environments and seeing what is it that I need, that I'm relying on, that I need to drop. Not literally, but figuratively. I need to re-examine my relationship with that thing. Because in Ramadan, that's the month to really develop my relationship with Allah Ta'ala. That's a month, that's the marathon month. That's the month we run. Sha'ban's the month we practice. The month we work hard. We don't go to the 30th of Sha'ban the way we are now, and then the day of Ramadan we start to change all of us. It's not going to work. Or it'll work, but we'll get tired, hungry, thirsty. That's the way it will work. Do you really want? Do I really want? Do all of us really want the same type of Ramadan every single year? Or do we want it to get better and better and better? This works in the material world. If you want to get better and better, you have to strive harder and harder. Work tougher and tougher. Sacrifice some things. Put some things aside. Reevaluate yourself. Work harder. It's the same principle with ibadah. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ. The amr of Allah Ta'ala, all of the commands of Allah Ta'ala, summed up in one aspect. Be people of ikhlas. Be right. Be people of ikhlas. All these things in the dunya will pull you. There's times to disengage. Even for the salah times, those are mini moments to disconnect. Take advantage of those mini moments, those small moments, and the major moments, when they come, you'll disconnect. Don't be like Musa, alayhi salam. When the time comes and we are asked to throw the staff, throw it. Don't hold it and say, do you really want me to throw it? It might break. I don't have insurance. Can I just toss it? Okay, just hold on a sec. No, move! Do it! Ajala, do it. When Allah Ta'ala gives the command, do it. When the Adhan comes, go. When the Ibadah time comes, rush. Be a person who throws that staff, not a person who hesitates and throws it, let alone doesn't throw it. Be aware of the dangers of connecting to anything other than Allah Ta'ala. And be aware of the responsibility of connecting only to Him. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Usiya wa usikum bi taqwa Allah. Qala ta'ala, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم، وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. رب اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله اتقوا الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة.